Hello everybody, Ultrasaurian409 here, and today I'll be flexing my CD collection, and also tell you a little bit about how I got them all. I did show stuff from it, show pictures of my stuff on my Instagram before, but the collection's got pretty big. Last time I talked about it, so we're gonna start with this stack here. All the single albums I got regarding some artists. Got this from a used record store. Warrant's second album, Cherry Pie. Just last year we saw them live at a local concert here in Nebraska. It was a really awesome show. The new guy they have with them since Jenny Lane died was actually very good. He didn't try to sound like Jenny Lane at all. He was just a very good singer for the band. My favorite songs from this album are always going to be the opening track and Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is just really cool. This next one, this is store-bought. I bought it from Walmart, of all places. Bob Seger Ultimate Hits. This guy's pretty cool, and there's really not much to say about him. He has been an influence behind some of my favorite artists, Kid Rock being one of them. Yes, I'm a Kid Rock fan. Sue me, haters. This one I had to get. It's Jason Newsted's only album, Heavy Metal Music, which he released with his side band. Unfortunately, his group disbanded. Kind of forgot why, but Jason Newsted is a guy who has not had it easy in life, and I kind of feel bad for the dude. This one I got from Christmas with two other albums. Comp album of Van Halen, Best of Both Worlds. And before you purists come at me with the in the comments with pitchforks and say that the DLR era was better, I'm here to tell you I actually prefer the Sammy Hagar era, because a lot more of their cooler songs started popping up after DLR left. That's a controversial hard take, but that's my honest opinion. Also, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. This one I just had to get because everyone in my family are huge Queen fans. And every time the Bohemian Rhapsody comes up on the radio, we all just have to sing along. This contains volumes 1, 2, and 3 of their greatest hits albums. Basically, every song that you love to hear is on this album. I kind of wish they added Stone Cold Crazy into Volume 1, but I guess it's not one of the most famous. I do prefer Metallica's version, though, because it's just more hardcore. No disrespect to the original artist. Theirs is pretty cool. Disturbed, 10,000 Fists. I got this from Walmart, again, where you get almost everything music-related. I just saw this, and I actually like a few of the songs here. I haven't given it a proper listen, but one of these songs, Stricken, I learned about from Guitar Hero 3. Last time I played it, before rediscovering it on PS3, I had no idea that song was there, and that's probably because I never heard of Disturbed at the time. These guys are very cool. In fact, they just recently released a new song, Hey You. It's not a cover of the Pink Floyd song. We heard it on the radio just yesterday. This one I got, I think Christmas of 2019, I forget. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I never did give it a proper listen, and I listened to it now, but it's not even December yet. But I played one of the songs here, and it was just legendary. The moment December 1st hits, I'm going to pop this in my radio. Passion and Warfare. It's an instrumental album by Steve Vai, one of the greatest guitarists that ever lived. He's just wild with his guitar skill, and how do I describe his stuff? Actually, I don't exactly know how to describe his skill on guitar. It's difficult to explain. I do know that he did work with Whitesnake in their Slip of the Tongue album, which is my second favorite behind their '87 album. This one I got from a used record store. Same with this Steve Vai album as well. In fact, most of the CDs I have are used copies. And why buy used copies, you might ask? Because you can't find them anywhere else in the mainstream market, and that's a fact. This right here I mostly got because of the tune "Summer Song," which is really awesome, and it lives up to the name. It sounds like one you just play on the radio every summer. Speaking of Whitesnake's '87 album, I found this at Walmart, again, of all places. And, well, I'm a huge fan of this album, and I'm a Whitesnake fan as well. And this is a 2017 re-release, so some of the tracks listed here have been organized differently. Originally, Crying in the Rain, which is a re-recorded version, was the opening track of this album, but it seems like they switched them around. I got this album just because it's Iron Maiden. They're freaking cool. This is their most successful album, The Number of the Beast, and it would be the first one where Bruce Dickinson would perform with the band from then on, until he would leave the band and then eventually come back. The Number of the Beast is a tune that did kind of concern me a little bit, except these guys aren't satanic, they're just really cool. I like to think of the song as a warning for the Antichrist, which, of course, 666 is mentioned. I got this from a used record store, again. It's a used copy. But apparently this Nine Inch Nails album didn't get a lot of love when it was first released. One of the songs I like on this is on here. I first heard it from Doom 2005, which is that movie. Don't judge, I actually like that movie, despite what everyone else says. And it's really cool. Kind of underrated. This one my dad got me for Christmas, I believe. Leonard Skynyrd Family. It's a compilation of Leonard Skynyrd's best songs, and also features songs from other bands associated with Leonard Skynyrd. I listened to it before, but I didn't think. My opinion of it wasn't exactly positive. I might give it another listen, though. It might change. Hold on a sec. Okay, so feel free to judge me if you want, but I actually think Winger is a pretty cool band. They kind of get too much hate because they were one of the last few hair metal bands that came out into the scene when grunge was becoming a hot topic. But this album is pretty cool. And they're not that bad. That's the band right there. Oh yeah, one of the current bandmates of Whitesnake is a member of this band too. I'm not sure if he's still an official member of Winger now, but he's pretty cool. Alright, this one I got during Christmas time, Chicago Christmas. As you would guess, it's a Christmas album, and it contains some of the best-known Christmas songs, Winter Wonderland, which I like, one of my most favorite tunes, Let It Snow, Little Drummer Boy, Feliz Navidad, basically everyone's favorite Christmas tunes in one album. I've had this album since I was a kid. Daughtry is just one heck of a cool singer. I remember hearing his stuff air on the radio all the time. And sometimes a few of his songs will play on Menard's radio, which is where I work. I love this collab they did with Slash, What I Want, and it just features one heck of a cool solo with Slash in it. This originally was meant for my sister, but she didn't like it, so I kept it instead. This contains Hart's earlier hits, Barracuda, Silver Wheels, Crazy on You, Dreamboat Annie, and also a live recording of Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll, which is a really awesome song. This one I had gotten from the same used record store. As you can see, this tear mark here is from when I tried taking off the sticker. Apparently that was not a good idea, but this is the Eagles' most recent album, Long Road Out of Eden, which was the last one they'd release before Glenn Frey would unfortunately pass away in 2016. This is honestly my most personal favorite out of their whole catalog. It has a lot of good songs. No More Walks in the Wood, which is just a acoustic quartet tune, I want to say. How Long, Busy Being Fabulous, which is a very catchy song. I Don't Want to Hear Anymore, Fast Company. The title track, Long Road Out of Eden, where they go very prog rock here. It's 10 minutes long, yet I still love it. And some of the themes in this album are kind of political, as they talk about current issues back then, but this was released in 2007, so probably not that relevant. But a lot of cool things happened in 2007. Can we at least agree on that? I got this album from the same used record store, Led Zeppelin's fourth album. How do I put this? It's Led Zeppelin. You gotta love them. It of course contains my most favorite song from them, Stairway to Heaven, which I like to play on my guitar every now and then. And plus, it's also one of their songs that got me more into playing the guitar and better at it. I even have a book of some of their most famous songs. You know, this is the Soundgarden album, but it's merely a compilation album of some of their most famous hits. I got it when I got a copy of Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. It came with it, and I didn't know. And this was back in 2017, and this was before Chris Cornell was pronounced dead, and it's very unfortunate as well. The guy was pretty cool. This one I got, again, from the same used record store, Best of Great White. As you'd expect, it's got some of their best-known songs, most notably Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and Rock Me. I don't need to explain what that song's about. I mean, it's hair metal. You know what they're pretty much going to talk about. And this is my most favorite album from Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbors, and it's his most successful. Hold on a sec. Alright, this is his most famous album, in my honest opinion. They say Reckless is his best work, but I'd care to disagree. A lot of his hard-hitting songs are in here. Is Your Mama Gonna Miss Ya, Can't Stop This Thing We Started, which I will occasionally hear on Menard's radio. Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven. There Will Never Be Another Tonight, which is such a fun song. All I Want Is You, which literally has a Def Leppard vibe to it, and that's not surprising. It's produced by the same guy who worked with them. his Oscar-nominated hit song, and I really believe he should have won that Oscar. Screw you, Beauty and the Beast. Everything I do it for you. Beauty and the Beast is a great song and all, but this one was just 1,000 times better. Disney, quit hogging the Oscars, will ya? And this album has just has a really hard-hitting sound that I just love, and it's hard rock. Alright, we got the single copies out of the way. Now we're going to get to the other stuff. A lot of these I got from the same used record store here in my hometown, and some of them I got them from the mainstream stores, like Walmart and the local Nebraska Furniture Mart. This one I got because I couldn't find it on Napster. They didn't have it at the time. Pink Floyd's The Final Cut. When I first listened to it, my opinion on it wasn't exactly what you call positive. I kind of thought it was lackluster, and this was released sometime before Roger Waters would leave the band, which I'll get back to that in a sec. I might give it another listen. Maybe my opinion will change. So it's not that bad. Not apparently. Oh, why isn't Richard Wright listed? A Requiem for the Post-War Dream by Roger Waters. Oh yeah, apparently I didn't know this at the time. I probably should have. But Roger Waters was pretty much the brains behind the band's albums, and a lot of people give him a lot of love for that. And this is my most favorite Pink Floyd album, The Division Bell. Now, before you guys come at me with pitchforks in the comments, like I mentioned with Van Halen before, this album is just a beautiful piece of work. I'm going to say it then, and this is going to be a very hot take, which a lot of you might hate me for saying, but at this point in Pink Floyd's career, the band, Pink Floyd was David Gilmour's baby. Roger Waters was that one dad who left for the milk but never came back. And that sucks. In fact, he never did come back. And honestly, I will say that it's just a work of art, this whole album. And in fact, I don't know how to describe it. It just sounds so pretty. This album hasn't gotten a lot of love, but I hope that people look back at it in retrospect and think, you know what, this album wasn't so bad. It's even got their Grammy Award-winning instrumental song, Marooned, which is, thematically, it feels very sad considering that, hey, you're alone on an island. What are you going to do about that? At least that's what I think the song is talking about, even though it's instrumental. This one I got sometime during Easter. Guns N' Roses, their debut album, Appetite for Destruction. This is a really cool album, and I can see why it gets a lot of love. Some of their most famous songs are on here. Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Night Train, Mr. Brownstone, which is kind of my personal favorite from this album, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine, Rocket Queen, and honestly, I always wanted to get my hands on this album. Yeah. And this is one my dad owned, Greatest Hits, and it contains GNR's stuff from previous work, from other stuff. Hold on a second, let me see if I can. Okay, it's kind of blurry. It contains some of the same stuff from their first album, but it has a lot of their famous hits. Patience, which is that acoustic ballad. Knocking on Heaven's Door, which their version is I like more than the original by Bob Dylan. Civil War, which is really epic. You Could Be Mine, which is mostly famous because it appeared in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Don't Cry, November Rain, Live and Let Die, my favorite version compared to the other one by Paul McCartney. Yesterday's Ain't It Fun, Said I Don't Have You, and their cover of the Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil. I love this version. It is so cool. And we're we're really getting into some of the good stuff here. This one I got for Christmas, the same year it came out, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I was really looking forward to this album, and quite honestly, it did not disappoint. It's got their first 3 songs that they released as singles: Hardwired, Atlas Rise, and Moth into Flame. Really, it's Metallica. They still got it, even after being inactive for 8 years at the time. This one I got from the local store, Record Benders, just like everything else. That's the name of the store. If any of you guys live in Nebraska, I suggest you check out Record Benders. You might find what you're looking for. It's Death Magnetic, and apparently it does not... While it's a return to form for the band's thrash metal roots, many have complained about its sound production, saying that it just blasts the ears. It's too loud for what it should be, and it's very evident considering the drum tracks. But hey, I don't mind. And in fact, this is a really good album. I'd definitely say it's a well-deserved return to their roots. And I got this at a Walmart a few years ago. Metallica's Black Album. It's honestly my most favorite Metallica album, because Enter Sandman is one of the first few songs I learned on guitar, and some of their best known songs are in this album. This would be my second favorite album, and Justice for All. This is when Metallica at one point went total prog metal, and artistically it's some of their best work. What I didn't know at the time was that they muted the bass tracks, and hold on. Alright, so where was I? They omitted the bass tracks for this album, and that's mostly because at the time they were still grieving Cliff Burton's death, and this was also the first album where Jason Newstead would join the band. I kind of think he was unfairly treated, but that's in the past now. I shouldn't really hold it against Metallica. And here is their 1984 album, Ride the Lightning. This was actually the first Metallica album I ever got. And it's... For a second album, they really gave it their A-game. I first heard For Whom the Bell Tolls from the movie Zombieland. That's how I first learned that Metallica even existed at all. My brother, Dad, and I saw these guys live. They were... Oh, hold on. My brother, Dad, and I saw these guys live. They were an opening act for Nickelback.
Shaman'sHarvest?
Yeah. These guys were pretty good. In fact, they're a local act from Iowa. Hey, neighbors. Neighbors.
Roomies.
Fitz, you can't go wrong without him. Hey, which, by the way, Fitz, where are you, man? It's been since 2020. And this album here contains their cover of Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana. Fun fact, Michael Jackson didn't want to perform the song because he thought it would be inappropriate, and he was performing for the royal family at one point. But Princess Diana actually said, "Please play that song, I love it." And I thought it was pretty funny. Hold on a second, got to get my camera's charger. Alright, so long story short, we bought these albums the same day we saw Nickelback live. I know, I'm a Nickelback fan. That I questioned my being a fan because of the criticism I'd eventually hear that the band would get. Honestly, that concert made me change my mind. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. And Daughtry was there too, and my mom actually wanted to go, but unfortunately cancer made it impossible. Still, she's a Daughtry fan, so that's a plus. She just gave me the thumbs up. Now, feel free to call me what you want, but I am just a huge fan of Eric Clapton. I started listening to the guy's music sometime in the summer of 2018. I got a few of his other albums on vinyl. This one is my most favorite from him, Journeyman, which contains some of his most famous songs, Pretending, Anything for Your Love, Bad Love, Running on Faith, and Before You Accuse Me, which is also a cover from someone else. I forget who, but I think it was Willie Dixon. I'd have to look it up. This one is one of his most famous work, Slow Hand, which was released in 1977, same year as Star Wars. It contains another bunch of his famous songs, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally, which I will sometimes hear on Menard's radio. Same for Wonderful Tonight. August, which, when I first listened to it, I didn't think much of it. Clapton really did try something different here, and it was something. The opening track, It's in the Way That You Use It, was a pretty catchy one. Featured in Touchstone Pictures, The Color of Money. I'm pretty sure that's a Tom Cruise flick. I've never seen it before. I hope it's good. Tearing Us Apart, which also features Tina Turner. Really legendary collaboration. Oh, this is produced by Phil Collins. I didn't know that. Warner Brothers Records. Not a type of record company you'd want to go to. They did Prince dirty. And last but not least, Clapton's highest selling album, as well as live album, Unplugged. Some of his famous songs are Played Here, Before You Accuse Me, Lonely Stranger, Layla, which was originally by Derek and the Dominoes, Running on Faith. A lot of other songs which I'm not too familiar with, but it also contains his most famous and very emotional tune, Tears in Heaven. If I had to choose, honestly, I don't know. I kind of like the studio version and his live performance of this song. When I first heard it, it actually did make me feel pretty sad, knowing what it's about. And it was on Watch Mojo's list of top 10 songs that will make you cry. Number 2 was Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, and that song's pretty sad too. They were saying goodbye to a beloved friend of theirs, and that was Syd Barrett. Now, Megadeth, the band that made me a metalhead. Before, the only band that I would really listen to frequently was AC/DC. My opinion of metal was kind of like everyone else's. I heard a lot of controversial stuff about it. It made me unsure of it, even though I'd heard Metallica before. But Megadeth made me change my mind. Their music was even helped me in a tough time when I was entering adulthood. And I know that sounds pretty silly, but Megadeth's music, it was the kind of stuff that helped me cope with the change I was going through. I was going through a phase, okay? It's awkward to talk about. This is one of their best known albums, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? I got this from a local mall here, and it's a used copy. Same for the next 4, which I'll talk about. Actually, no. Well, 3 of these out. The other 3 I got used. This one has some of their best known songs: Wake Up Dead, The Conjuring, Peace Sells, and Devil's Island. And that's actually a very good question. If Peace sells, then really, who's buying it? It's a really good question if you think about it. Right here, they say that Countdown to Extinction, which we'll get to in a bit, is Megadeth's best album, but I'd beg to differ. Rust in Peace was the first bunch of their music that I actually listened to. I discovered it through a video game on Facebook called Guitar Flash, and this album, this is their magnum opus. It is so cool. It's got Holy War's The Punishment Due, which is the opening track. That's the song that got me into heavy metal in the first place. Hangar 18, Take No Prisoners. This whole album is just a masterpiece. And it was Megadeth at their A game. Which, not to saying that they were slumming it